Should be on YouTube here soon. Let me get that open. Give everybody time to get in here while I get this open. And of course, my internet slowed down. That's what I need. Internet slow down. We're live right now, and I'm not getting this window open, so I probably look kind of foolish. Make sure, if you're watching the chat, Spencer, make sure you mute your the YouTube stream.
Hey.
Or you'll get reverb. All right. Well, everybody in the chat is saying we're live. I still can't see the video feed yet on my YouTube, but evidently everybody else can see it. So welcome. Looks like we have 7 watching right now. Hey, my video just came up. Spencer, where'd you go? Well, Spencer was in here with us. Looks like he got disconnected when we transferred over, when we started the broadcast. So let's see what's happening here. All right, we have in the house tonight, Fishing Family Network is with us. PNW Outdoor Reviews. Edward Seller is with us tonight. Fat Guy Outdoors. Grant McIntosh. Hey, Grant, how are you, buddy? Matter of fact, Grant, let's go ahead and do that for you. Enlightened Truth Seeker. Hello, Blue Collar. Hello, Enlightened. Nice to see you. Thanks for coming, bub. Mike Burnside is in the house. Thanks for coming. Ryan Outdoorsman. What's up, y'all? All right, let's see if we can get Spencer back here. Hey, Spencer, are you good to go?
Yeah, you got me back there. I lost you for a sec, but I think I'm back here.
Yeah, I see you're back. All right.
All right, good to go.
Some technical difficulties here.
A little bit. My first live stream here. Sorry, man.
That's all right. Man, mine didn't go as according to plan that first time either. Maybe it's because you're my first international guest.
Oh, there we go.
All right. Get rid of that echo. I told you to mute, and then I do that every time. I tell my guests, make sure you mute, and then I forget to do it. All right, Spencer. We'll get started here. Let me see if anybody else has come in. Fishing Stripes has joined us. Stanley Orchard has joined us. Welcome, buddy. Appreciate it. True North Angler has joined it. PA Hunting and Trapping has joined us. Hello. Good at work, Stanley Orchard. Good to see you too. Okay, man, smash that thumb out. Yep, please. Thank you, Enlightened. All right, guys. Now that we're kind of up and going here tonight, let's see if we can go ahead and get our stream started as normal. Let me move this window over. There we go. All right, good evening. Thank you all for joining Blue Collar Fishing Live. This is our Sunday night live show. I have the guest with me tonight is Spencer from Fishing for the Rest of Us.
Hey, guys.
Spencer is out of Ontario, Canada. He's our first Canadian on the show. He has had his YouTube channel a little longer than mine. He doesn't upload as much, and we'll get into that. That's one of the questions I sent him. But he's had a YouTube channel for a while now. We're going to talk about his YouTube channel, who he's with. We have similar niches in the fishing world. I'm blue-collar fishing. He's fishing for the rest of us. It's kind of a how to get people out there channel, even if you don't have a lot of money to spend on it. Spencer is a bank angler, so that's why he's fishing for the rest of us. He doesn't have a boat. He doesn't fish from a boat. So we'll get into asking all those questions in a minute. But first of all, y'all know how YouTube works. Let's get the chores done. If you're new with us tonight, go ahead and smash that subscribe button. When you came in, I really appreciate it if you smash that thumbs up. That helps our channels out a lot. Please keep the self-promotion down in the chat to a minimal. There are some keywords that I don't know if it's an urban myth, but people say YouTube doesn't like. No sub for sub, no subscribe, no support. And because it's just bad manners, no, hey, I'm going live, or hey, my buddy's going live, leave here and go over there. I wouldn't do it to you, don't do it to me. All right. So, Spencer, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell everybody anything that I didn't tell them.
Well, like I said, I'm Spencer, host of Fishing for the Rest of Us. We've run the channel for a couple years now, slow start, but we're trying to pick up as we go. Like you said, I'm a bank angler, no boats. Fishing for the Rest of Us is all about catching fish on a budget. We try to give tips that anybody can use and try to apply to their home lake, not necessarily say, you know, go to this lake or that lake. Just general tips that anybody can kind of use wherever you're fishing.
Yeah, that's good. All right, Spencer. Let's go ahead and get into the first question. And the first question we always ask everybody is, why do you fish? And how did you get started into fishing?
I fish because I can't not fish. I mean, it's pretty much the same reason anybody fishes. It's a huge passion. I love being outside. I love nature. Love the feel of reeling in a big fish. It's just addicting from the first time you go out, right? So I didn't really start fishing until I was an adult and had a car to drive. My parents weren't real outdoorsy people, so I really didn't start fishing until I was about 19 or 20. So I've only been fishing for like less than 10 years now.
Okay. So you're relatively new to the sport then.
Yeah, in the grand scheme of things, I'm pretty new, yeah.
All right. And how did you get into fishing, though? If your parents weren't outdoors people, like, what was the first time you said, hey, let's go fishing?
I was homesick from school when I was like, I don't know, 5 or 6 years old or something. I watched a fishing show, and I just decided, I got to do this. So I pestered my dad. He bought me a rod and reel, and I just started learning how to – I went out a couple times when I was a kid at the pond by my house, and that was about it, like I said, until I was old enough to drive myself to some real lakes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, Spencer, what is your favorite fish to target?
Ooh, okay, that's a tough one. I'd have to say it's a toss-up between, I love in the springtime up here, we get a really good trout run, rainbow trout, big steelheads from the Great Lakes. That's kind of the big kickoff to our season at the beginning of the year, so that's definitely one of my favorites. They're also really powerful. They fight like crazy. It's just a blast. And I love bass season. It's actually the shortest season we have here in Ontario. Only get a few months for it, so I treasure those months of bass fishing.
As a Canadian bass angler, why don't you explain to our audience exactly bass season in Canada and what can and can't happen to you? Like, can you get in trouble for fishing out of season for bass in Canada?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, huge fines, actually. Not allowed to target them out of season. Even if it's catch and release, doesn't matter. Not allowed to target them when they're on their beds. I can kind of speak for my zone, but even Ontario itself is broken into about 20 different zones. And each of those 20 zones has all of their own regulations, all their own seasons, different limits, slot sizes, everything like that. So where I'm from, bass starts the third Saturday in June. And we get to fish them through till the end of November, and that's it. That's the whole window we get.
Okay. where I'm from, I live in Pennsylvania in the States, and Pennsylvania has some, in the States, has some stricter regulations than other states. Now, we can target bass before the June opener.
Okay.
Excuse me, but we can't harvest. Catch and release only. They got to be 15 inches to harvest, which all bass for me are catch and release only. That's just, there are other fish I'd rather eat. That's not a thing for me. But so it's catch and release only. Now in Pennsylvania, they have the you can't. It's worded funny. Supposedly it's illegal to fish for bass on bed, but the wording of the law actually states it's illegal to make repeated cast to a fish you can see. So, okay,
so you can't intentionally target them if they're cast, right?
Right. Well, my question to the game where I'm like, well, what's repeated? Twice? 5? 7?
Yeah, where do they draw the line?
What's the number? If I get him to hit twice, am I good? So it's worded funny. And if you do catch one, they don't want you taking it out of the water, not even to take a picture. They want you to. You're supposed to release it immediately out of season.
Right. Yeah, we got the same thing here. If you catch one out of season, I mean, I've caught a few in the spring when I was perch fishing, just with a minnow or a worm or whatever. And the rule is you're supposed to unhook it, put it back right away, no pictures, just get her back in the water.
Yeah. I did tell my local DNR guy here once, I'm like, look, man, if it's ever like my PB or state record, just go ahead and start writing the ticket. Let me get some measurements. I'll be with you in a minute. All right. Let's see what our next question is here. Do you ever do catch and cook? If so, what is your favorite fish to catch and cook?
I do occasionally eat a few fish. I love them. They're delicious, but I do try to practice conservation as much as I can. So I'd say about 95% of what I catch goes back. We do try to promote conservation, catch and release. I usually do about 2 fish fries a year. I take a cottage trip in the summer. We'll do a fish fry then. And I usually do one in the winter as well after ice fishing. If I had to pick a favorite, I'd honestly have to say crappie. I love crappie. They're so good.
Yeah, crappie's up there. Yellow perch.
Yeah, perch and crappie. They fry up real nice. Oh, just the best. Can't beat them.
We had some more people join us to say some quick hellos here.
Yeah.
Fishing Strategy. Stephanie DeLay. Hey, Country Mama. Thanks for coming. All day, JK Fishing. What's up? What's up to you? Fishing Strategy. Already said her. All right. Looks like just a couple came in. Thanks for coming, everybody. Appreciate it. What inspired you to start a fishing YouTube channel?
Actually, it's kind of a funny story. I used to work at a call center, and all the guys there were always asking me when I go back from fishing, like, oh, what'd you catch? And what'd you use for bait? Where do you go? How do you catch this? How do you catch that? And I was always kind of the guy that everyone went to for fishing tips at work. And one day my buddy Jimmy said, hey, man, you should start a YouTube show. It'd be awesome. And I basically was like, you know what? I just might do that. And it literally started like a couple days later. Just decided to take him up on the challenge, I guess.
Cool.
But I also want to I want to help people get into fishing and learn to, have some respect for nature and ensure that it's there for future generations. So, I mean, the more people we can get into the sport, the better.
Yeah, definitely. It's, for me, it was, I don't know if this makes sense, but it's what turns the noise off. Sometimes I have a hard time turning everything off. And I'm always overthinking things. And so fishing, I'm like, okay, let me see. Hey. I think there's one up there in that hole. And, like
everything turns off. It's just you in the water, right?
Everything turns off. You can be right behind me and I can't help you.
It is nice and peaceful, yeah.
You say something, because if you did, stop. You want to tell everybody the focus of your channel there, Spencer?
Oh, sorry, I lost you there, Kelly. What was that?
I said, you want to tell everybody the main focus of Fishing for the Rest of Us, the channel?
The main focus was when I decided that it'd be cool to do a fishing show was no offense to the greats, you know, on World Fishing Network and all that. Those guys are amazing at what they do. But a lot of it wasn't applicable to me. I live in the city. I've lived in apartments a lot of my life. I don't have room for a boat. I don't have money for a boat. I don't have time for a boat. And every show out there, aside from some really good YouTube shows I've seen, but all the TV shows, first thing they do, hop in a $50,000 bass boat, turn on the sonar. That's really nice, but that doesn't help people like me or you know, the blue collar fishing crew. A lot of us don't have the kind of time and money for that sort of thing. So I really wanted to start a crusade and try to do something that would actually help the average angler or someone who just wanted to try it out and get into it, as opposed to, you know, once you spend 50 grand, well, then you can use our tips.
Yeah, I agree there. The blue collar name wasn't by accident.
Exactly. We put a lot of thought into the fishing for the rest of us too. It's, you know, the 1% making 99% of the money, but what about the rest of us out here just trying to catch a few fish, you know?
Yeah. And now that we're speaking on that, my next question actually is the trend of YouTube. I tell people the other day that, you know, we grew up probably with, you know, Bill Dance and Jimmy Houston, Roland Martin, and those guys. And I remember the only guy who wasn't a bass guy, maybe you were a little inspired by, because you have a similar style, I noticed when I watch your videos, was Babe Winkleman. Remember
I have heard
Winkleman?
that before. Yes. Yeah, I remember Babe Winkleman. Yeah, no, he was good.
Yeah, well, you have a similar camera presence. But
you're not the first person who's told me that. I've heard that a couple times actually now. And I mean, hey, if people want to compare me to him, that's awesome. He was great.
But I tell people now that the new fishing show is YouTube. You know, love them, lump them, hate them, respect them, whatever it is. Those 4 kids in Texas have figured something out, and they're further in their careers than Bill Dance has ever been at a much younger age. So YouTube is now where you go for content. So what do you think YouTube has done for this industry, the positive and the negative?
Positive is, I mean, it's put so much information at our fingertips without, you know, buying cable packages to watch shows or whatever. Anything you want, go on YouTube, type anything about fishing, minnow trapping, how to catch bass, trout. There's hundreds and hundreds of videos, so anyone can learn anything, anytime, which is beautiful. But at the same time, it's also given some opportunity for, you know, guys like us who want to try to do something and leave a little bit of a legacy behind for people. In terms of the negative, there's a lot of negativity going around about some YouTube stuff these days, and you know, the algorithms and the monetization and all that. It's a whole kerfuffle, but I think it's done a lot of good in opening some doors for people to get their brand out there and just everybody to learn from them. That's what we're all here for, is to learn from each other, right?
Yeah. Like I said, you just, even on the negative, I tell people, you know, Google owns YouTube. And just like your company, Google can do whatever they want. It's their property, you know?
Yeah.
So, like it, love it, hate it, doesn't matter. Okay. Next question, or 7th question is, do you have a preference in gears? Rod, reel, line, lure, etc. If so, what and for what reason?
So usually obviously not in the winter when I'm ice fishing, but in spring, summer, and fall, I primarily run with 2 rods. Because again, I'm not spending hundreds of dollars on a rod for every different situation. I mean, that would be great, but again, not everybody has that, and that's not what I'm trying to show people. So I run with 2 rods. I've got a medium light action with a really fast tip for some finesse situations, little jigging, stuff like that. And then I've got a heavy action graphite rod as well when I'm ripping through the weeds or running a crankbait or a topwater frog or something like that. And they're not perfect for every situation, but between the 2 of them, I can fish anything from perch to muskie. So we're pretty much covered with 2 rods there.
Do you mostly use spinning gear or bait caster? Or?
Oh, yes, I use all spinning gear. I've used bait casters in the past. Honestly, I do so well with a spinning rod and all the different adjustments you have to make for the different lure weights on the bait casters. I find the spinning reels are a little cheaper, they're easier to work with, and they produce just as good results. So I usually stick with those. And for line, I usually run a 15-pound braid year round. If I'm doing something like trout or panfish, I'll tie some leader on, like some 4-pound mono or something like that, thinner. But I just run with a straight 15-pound braid most of the year.
Yeah, I keep a braid on the bigger spinning rods and on the 2 bait casters. I do have bait casters. I do use them. It's just not a lot. Where we're located, it's a lot of finesse fishing, heavy pressured lakes, PFAs in that area. So I'm throwing, Cincos or light flukes, stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Love those.
Okay. For some reason, these are some of the most popular asked questions. What are you filming your content with?
Oh, sorry. Can you do that one more time? I lost audio.
What do you film with?
Oh, what do we film with? Oh,
yeah.
Our gear is not too fancy. We're working on some upgrades right now. Primarily, we have 2 cameras. We've got a Canon, I believe it's a Canon Vixia, just a basic. It's a 1080p, 30 frames a second video recorder. That's our main camera for like my intro shots, a lot of the fish, stuff like that. Anything that you guys have seen underwater footage or an extra camera on the side, we actually run an SJ cam. It's like a GoPro style camera, but they're less than half the cost of a GoPro, and they work just as well. So if anybody's looking for a good action cam, SJ.
SJ. I've just got a couple of GoPros. All right.
These things will, they'll give you about the same quality as a GoPro. For most of them are about $100.
Oh, okay. All right. We got a couple more people who've joined us. Let's go ahead and shout them out. We have Farmwell Fanatic has joined us. Hey, welcome, buddy. Appreciate you coming. Swamp Diver Outdoors has joined us. Appreciate you coming. BC Outdoors has joined us. Thank you, everybody. Sea Pro Fishing with Wayne has joined us. Appreciate you coming as well. VA Basser Outdoors. VA Basser Outdoors. Hello, everyone. Hello. Appreciate you coming. Fishy Angler. And I believe that's everybody I hadn't shouted out before. So, all right. Next question. What editing software are you using?
I use, what is it? Oh my God, what's it called? I'm having a moment here. Oh, Premiere Elements. That's just the basic version of Premiere. I'm amazed I can even use that. It's honestly, when I started this, I had no idea how to do any of this. My tech guy, Mike, actually, you guys might see my display name is Michael right now. That's because my tech guy, Mike, set this all up for me. He kind of got me started on the basic one. He thinks I'm ready to move up to Premiere Pro, but I don't know, man. I'm still learning my way around Elements.
Like I said, the blue collar thing is for real. I use the free one. So,
hey, you can do a lot with some of the cheaper programs. You don't have to have the fanciest one out there,
I use the one that was in my computer, the Windows Movie Maker, and actually I've just started playing around with what is that free one that you can download that even Hollywood uses? The DaVinci Resolve.
Oh, yes. I've heard of that one. Have no idea how to use it, but I've heard good things.
So if you're looking for a free editor in the chat tonight for your videos, DaVinci Resolve. It's free, and even Hollywood uses it.
I might have to check that one out.
All right, McKay Outdoors. You didn't use any bad words for me, so. McKay Outdoors says she is 187 away from 1,000. I got McKay Outdoors about a month ago, and she was at 200. So she is sailing.
Oh, wow. Killing it. Nice.
Yeah, killing it. So if anybody doesn't have McKay Outdoors and you want to help her hit her goal, go ahead and do that. But McKay, I'm not a sub or networking channel, so I want to see you hit your goals, but take it easy with that in the chat, okay? All right, Spencer. What do you think are some differences in fishing in Canada and fishing in the U.S.?
Honestly, that's something I'd like to look into a little more because I do want to travel down to the States and do a couple episodes one day. I think it would be a great little road trip. But I'm honestly not too sure. I don't know how you guys are down there. Like I said, in the spring here, we're always hitting up our trout. We have the spring trout run every year. I'm not sure if that's as big a thing down there. We love our largemouth, smallmouth bass, perch and crappie, walleye up here. I guess you guys have a little more saltwater opportunities than we do too. If you can get out to one of the coasts, I know like there's some saltwater fishing out on the east and west coast of Canada too, but not quite the same species as you guys get down south. I'd love to go down there and hook into like some snook or redfish, something down in Florida. I think that'd be great one day.
Yeah, I have some Florida angler. Excuse me, bumped the computer. I have some Florida angler friends, and right now, and I'm watching them. They're in their spring spawn bite, and I'm like, man, that's an unfair advantage. I'm still iced over. All right. Also, to explain real quick, I didn't explain when I came in. Osney Fishing Adventures was all supposed to join us tonight. Owen messaged me a while ago, and he has the flu, so he will not be on here tonight. But
feel better soon, Owen.
Yeah. We do have Spencer. Let's see if there were any Fishing Family Network question. What are some of your favorite YouTube channels?
Some of my favorite YouTube channels, like fishing channels or YouTube in general?
We'll go with fishing channels.
Yeah, fair enough.
We'll do both. Maybe your fishing channels and then anybody that you watch for other reasons.
I try to watch. I follow a lot of other fishing channels. Obviously, network with a lot of people online, meet some great people. I love checking out their work. I try to watch as many different channels as I can. Try to learn a little bit from everybody. Take a couple tips they had and apply some of the stuff I have. So, God, off the top of my head, I'm terrible with names. I would have to get a list, but. If you guys check my liked videos, my subscribe list too. There's some great channels on there. A lot of good people we've met through Facebook and Twitter over the years. But Kelly's one of them. I was glad we ran into each other last year. Actually, you won my giveaway last year, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's how we met the first time.
Well, I met you before that, obviously, to enter it, but
yeah,
I won your giveaway last year. I wore the shirt yesterday underneath my hoodie.
Oh, nice. Hey, keep an eye out. We're doing another one soon. We're doing another spring giveaway coming up.
Yeah, I still haven't figured out what to do with those spoons yet. My spoon game is weak, and like I said, we do a lot of finesse around here, and those are kind of big.
Yeah, you need some open water too. You can't be pulling those through weed beds, right?
No.
Actually, that company makes some really cool stuff, actually. I was using that today on Lake Simcoe, one of his lures.
Let's see if we got any more questions in the chat here for you.
Absolutely.
I know I saw one a while ago and I can't find it now. Well, I do apologize if you asked your question that kind of got lost in here. Well, if you asked the question before in the chat and you want to have it answered, type it again. I'm sorry, I got it lost. Edward Sutter says the Tennessee River was flooded over. Yeah, I know that, actually, being from Tennessee. I wonder if that the Bassmaster Classic is actually in 2 weeks on the Tennessee River, so I wonder how that's going to affect that. All right, Spencer. I'll ask you some of Owen's questions too.
All right, I'll see what I can do.
What are some upcoming content you have for everybody? What do you have going coming up to tell everybody about on your channel?
Actually, we've got a video that was supposed to be up earlier today. We got a little delay, but it's going to be up tonight after the live stream. Glopro Lures, one of my pro staff companies. We were out ice fishing with their baits, the micro dancers. catching some nice jumbo perch out on Lake Simcoe. So that one is it's all wrapped up, ready to go. It's uploading, and that'll be posted tonight. That one's going to be really cool. And then we've got another ice fishing video coming out for our next release, and that's actually the company we're talking about with the spoons, Lure Charge. It makes a little thing called a voltage tuner. It gives off a little frequency in the water that the fish can actually feel in their lateral lines. And we were testing it out with one with it and one without it, side by side for about half the day, and then me and my buddy switched rods to see if they would move over to the other hole and follow the bite, which they actually did. It's a really cool episode, so I'm really excited for that one coming out too.
That sounds good. What are your PBs? What are some of your PBs you'd like to know about?
Honestly, I can't accurately tell you that because I don't usually bring a scale with me. I'm not really one to bring a scale and measure the fish. If I bring a good one home, I might measure it, but I throw 95% of my fish back. So, I mean, I could estimate, but I'm honestly not really sure what some of my personal bests are. I know for trout in the spring, I caught a rainbow trout a few years ago. It was about 14 pounds. So that was probably my best trout. And for my best bass, it was probably about I'd say 6.5 pound smallie.
That's a massive smallie, man.
Yeah, my heart was pounding with that one, that's for sure. That was last year on my vacation, actually. We usually rent a cottage every year, and we were fishing we were fishing for walleye, actually, and I had just a huge smallmouth take it. So that was a pretty good one.
Yeah, smallmouth are near and dear to me if you've ever seen some of the other streams. I've been fortunate enough, two of the areas I've lived in over time are renowned for smallmouth. The area we live in now, in Pennsylvania, the Susquehanna River is determined to be one of the best smallmouth fisheries in the world. And for my money, and the fact that the world record and the second biggest were caught out of the same lake, the lake I grew up in Tennessee, Del Hollow Reservoir, is the best smallmouth fishing in the world.
Oh, okay, then maybe that's where I'll go for my trip one day in the U.S.
Hey, Blue Color. All right, we have some more people joined us. Let's go ahead and say our hellos. Elaine, Deluxe, Stefan. I know I will butcher that. But it's Elaine. Pardon me. Elaine, Deluxe, the fam. Hey, Blue Collar Fishing. Hey, how are you? Little Rancher has joined us tonight. Appreciate you coming. Thanks for coming. Swamp Diver Outdoors, my PB, 65-pound blue cat. Holy cow. Woo! That's a tank.
How long did you have to fight that thing?
My blue cat is the size of your channel cat. 17-pound channel cat, 47-pound flathead cat.
Oh, man, that must have been a heck of a fight.
Yeah. That is the, of course, with the Catfish Conference being a couple of weeks ago, I have some relationships with some of those guys. I'm trying to collab with Panfish Bill. I don't know if you recognize him. But,
I've seen Panfish Bill before.
I'm trying to do a collab with him. I'm going to, knock on wood, if good Lord's willing and the creek don't rise, I'm trying to go to the Bassmaster Classic since it's in Knoxville next year, right near my hometown. And I've been reaching out to him. But I think I made the ultimate mistake. I said it out loud. And that's my life. Once I say something out loud, man, anything that can happen will. All right, Spencer, you have anything you want to address or any questions you want to ask?
What are we looking at here? I don't know. I can't think. I'm bad on the spot, man. I'm good at answering questions, but bad at coming up with my own.
Well, I don't have an 8-pound smallie on me, but I do have. You see this on TV and on YouTube and everything, and people get a little over anxious of what they think good fish are. You know what I mean? Like, you see some of these bigger YouTubers in Texas or Florida right now, 10-pounders. Yeah, they're in the land of 10-pounders and they can fish for them right now. But in general, 3 pounds is a good one. Either way, if you catch a 3-pound smallie or a 3-pound largie, you've had a good day.
That's a nice one, yeah, for sure. Especially up here too, up north. I mean, in the wintertime, they've got less food up here. We don't get the 10-pounders. I mean, the whole Ontario state record for largemouth, the biggest largemouth ever caught in Ontario, was 10 pounds, and that's just absolutely unheard of up here.
Yep. Yeah, I don't have a double digit. Mine is 4.6, and that's a largemouth is my personal best. It's 4.6. I have some good. Yeah, that's good. I don't have an 8-pound smallmouth, and I don't have a 20-inch smallmouth. Up here, 20 inches is good. But I've got a couple 17s, 18 inches, 3-pound, 3.5 in that area because I grew up around Del Hollow. Like, you're not gonna catch Del Hollow is one of the few waters in the world. Like, you're not gonna go out and catch 40 smallmouth bass in an hour. You might catch 10 in a day of fishing, but those 10 have a likelihood of, say you catch 10, 6 of those 10 have a likelihood of being 2 pounds or better.
That's not bad. That's still a good day of fishing in my books.
That's a great day of fishing in my book. Fishing Stripe says my largemouth PB is 4 pounds. That's, like I said, 3's a good one. 4's an even better one. I've seen, matter of fact, I just watched MLF where they entered. I watched that. You catch 10 4-pounders, you'll win an MLF event. But and I just watched what was it, Costa, FLW Costa series. And if the guy had a 4-pounder, he would have won. So, and these are professional anglers. 4's a good one. 3's a good one.
4's a nice fish. Yeah, absolutely.
Nicholas Outdoors has joined us. Hey, buddy, thanks for coming. Cod Fishing 180 has joined us. Appreciate you coming.
Hey, guys.
Let's see if there are anybody in the chat have a question for Spencer or myself. BC Outdoors, mine is 17 pounds. Catfish, your personal best catfish is 17 pounds. I'm hoping.
I hope that's a catfish.
Yeah.
If he meant bass, you got to call a state. That's a record.
Oh, definitely. If he meant bass, you have the state. Unless you live in Alabama, California, or Tokyo, Japan, you've got the state record.
Yeah. What was the Japanese Japan one? It was like a 22-pounder is the record there or something, the world record. It was just the picture didn't look real.
Yeah, he tied it. He tied the world record. The other one was caught out of Alabama, I think, right before that in the 70s.
Wow.
I know where the world record smallmouth, I know where that was caught. I just mentioned it. He was a Kentucky resident. The reservoir, part of it's in Kentucky, most of it's in Tennessee, so it encompasses 2 states here.
Right. Yeah, we definitely don't have any record fish like that up here. Although the one world record that is from Ontario is the world record walleye is from Ontario. So we're in the books for that one.
I can see that.
Yeah, I think it was a 22-pounder out of the Niagara River, I believe.
Well, that's cool. Oh, my PB is a 17-pound snapping turtle. That's funny. My PB is over 400 pounds. Okay, Sea Pro Fishing with Wayne. I'm going to guess Goliath grouper.
I was going to say, if we're talking 400 pounds, it's got to be a Goliath grouper or something like that.
Yep. What type of line do you prefer, fluorocarbon or braid?
Definitely braid. Always on the braid. 15-pound. I usually use the spider wire camel braid. I like it's got high vis and low vis sections. So you can tie it onto a low vis. Fish don't see it, but then you can see your high vis on top of the water if it twitches. So yeah, I've used fluorocarbon once or twice, but I just find the braid's a little more versatile for what I do.
Cool. You said you tie a mono leader on. What knot are you using for your leader right now?
When I do a mono leader, it's usually if I'm doing panfish or trout. And I usually use a Berkeley Trilene 4-pound when I'm doing the steelhead in the spring. They're big fish. We catch them, 7, 8, 9 pounds, but they won't hit any line bigger than that. They got really good eyesight in the creeks, so got to downsize her to a 4 and play with them on the drag.
Yeah, I use and I mostly catch stock trout here, but especially in the native waterways here, we have a few. I use 4-pound mono is as high as I can go with it. And the green 4-pound mono, either the Trilene or the SOS trout. I'm not sure who that's made by.
Wow. Yeah, with those trout, they're so finicky, you can't go much higher than that, eh?
BC Outdoors, I have a question. Have you ever caught a remora deep sea fishing? I catch them every time I go deep sea fishing. They're those things that suck on the sharks and eat the leftovers that the shark produces. Have you ever been deep sea fishing? Something?
No, I've only ever done freshwater fishing, never fished any saltwater in my life. So, unfortunately not.
You have a passport, you can come down here and collab. It's about an hour and a half ride to the shore.
Yeah, I might have to do that one of these days.
We'll get that off your bucket list.
Yeah, for sure.
I honestly, because I'm not on a coastal state, it's a drive, it's an event for me. Like, we go surf fishing at least once a year or whatever, but it's always an event for me. I'm like, the bait is $40. Go surf fishing. I drove 2 hours. I used all this gas. I spent $40 on bait. Plus, you got to have the rods and everything, and they're more expensive than freshwater rods.
Oh yeah, adds up quick.
So the gear I spent money on, and I caught one little old blue.
Oh, after all that, just one fish, eh?
Yeah, like $100 fishing trip for one little blue. Threw it back. We had the line. All right. Rancher. And no. At BC Outdoors, I've never caught one of those either. I've caught a few nurse sharks, but I've never caught the little fish attached to them. What's the next upcoming season you have there, Spencer? Trout?
Right now, we're at the tail end of ice fishing season. We still got lots of ice up here, so I'm probably going to be doing that for about 2 more weeks. I was out today on Lake Simcoe, actually, and we still had like 16 inches of ice. So I'll be at that for a few more weeks. And then come April, we kind of got a bit of a lull before trout opens, where basically we've got catfish, perch, and crappie and sunfish. That's all that's open. And then trout opens 4th Saturday in April. So end of April, right into May, I'll be hitting the trout all season long as hard as I can.
Yeah, we've had weird weather here this winter. We've had 20-degree days and then 50-degree day, and then a 15-degree day and a 60-degree day. That's terrible for the ice. So
yeah, we got a little bit of that up here too, especially in my area locally. Like I'm in southern Ontario. We got a bunch of that too, and a lot of the ice didn't freeze very well, so we're driving a little bit north to get the good ice still.
Yeah. Jada Diva beer reviews and tours, blue collar. Cheers. Good to see you. Good to see you too, buddy. Thanks for coming. Question. What are your bucket list species? Fishing Family Network.
Question. There's so many. Like I said, I want to get into saltwater one day. I definitely want to go out and catch some. I want to catch a mahi-mahi. I think they're beautiful. I just love to catch one and see the colors in person, do some deep sea fishing. In terms of stuff up here, freshwater, my biggest bucket list fish is a sturgeon. And there's not many of them around here anymore. BC is actually one of the best places for that on the Fraser River. So I am planning a trip one of these days, probably not this year, but maybe in a couple years. I'm going to fly out to BC. We're going to fish the Fraser River, and we're going to catch a sturgeon, and we're going to put it on the channel for you guys. That is my biggest bucket list fish. Well, just a giant, 4 to 6 foot sturgeon.
Yeah, that's on my list as well. I've never even seen one in real life.
I honestly haven't seen one either. The closest I got was a buddy of mine a couple of years ago. He was ice fishing for walleye, actually. And I couldn't go on the trip with him. And he texted me a video of him reeling in a sturgeon through the ice on the trip I couldn't go on. So I was so mad I wasn't there to see it.
The follow-up to that question is where is your bucket list destinations to fish?
Well, aside from going to BC and catching those sturgeon, I would like to, fly overseas somewhere and see what kind of fishing they have. Maybe go to, I've seen some fishing shows where they do some crazy different fish species in like Africa and Europe and stuff like that. So, I would love to travel to just some remote destination that no one's ever fished before. That would be really cool, I think. Just see a piece of land or a piece of river that nobody's ever really been to before. That would be awesome.
Yeah. I've been watching what's his name? The kayak guy who goes around, not Chattanooga, Robert Field Trips. I just watched his latest video. He's in Australia right now. I'd love to do Australia.
Australia would be a good one too, yeah. I'm sure the fishing's awesome out there.
Yeah. I remember that question that was earlier. You have ice out right now. What is the thickest amount of ice you've drilled through to fish?
Thickest ice I've drilled through was just shy of 24 inches. It was about 23 and a half inches ice, so almost 2 feet. And I do not have a gas-powered auger. We have a hand crank auger, so we're sitting there just cranking her for about 5 minutes to get through that thick ice. This year, I think the thickest I've seen is 19 inches is the thickest I've seen this year.
Yeah. I think we had safe ice maybe 2 days here this winter, and I couldn't find it when I went out. So other than that, right now there might be, if there's 2 inches on the lakes right now, it would be a lot, but there's no open water either.
Yeah, it's a little thin for me. The thinnest I've been out on is like early this year. I was dying to get out. We had a late freeze, and I went out. One of my local ponds had like 3.5 inches of ice, which is kind of iffy for me. I prefer a solid 4, but I made do for the day because I just couldn't wait any longer.
Stanley Orchard says, goal this year for us is to place at Sharkathon. Not sure what that is, but I'm guessing it's a shark catching event.
Sharkathon. Sounds Sharkathon.
Cod fishing 180. I'm from Australia. That's cool. How's the fishing? Swamp Diver Outdoors, tarpon in the Keys for me. I'd like to catch a tarpon as well. That's on my list.
Ooh, yeah, I forgot about tarpon. That's on my list too. I'd love to catch one of those.
You ever watch Zoffinger, the kayak guy out of Florida?
I don't think so. No, I don't think I've seen that.
He just started his like kayak rental place to take people out fishing and stuff. And evidently, where he's located, there tarpon just swim right by his dock. He lives on a boat. Tarpon just swim right by his dock. Gets out in the morning, drinks his coffee. Tarpon fishes. Like,
oh, that's the dream.
He gets his life. I did not see this at career day.
Yeah, I must have missed that booth. I don't know.
Sea Pro Fishing with Wayne. Zoffinger is near me. Cool. One day I'd like to head down there. He's in the Tampa area, I think. All right. My script was scripted out for both you and Owen, so there's a lot more hem-hawing tonight than there normally is. So I'm going to have to get on to Owen about this. I don't normally hem-haw so much in my streams. I'm usually straightforward. Oh, tell us about your pro stash there, Spencer. Glopro, and I recognize the shirt.
Team Wolfpack. Yeah, those are my two guys right now. Glopro Lures is the bait company. If you guys haven't checked them out, definitely check them out online. They've got some really innovative products. They've got interchangeable rattles, glow sticks you can put in the baits, all kinds of customization you can do with them, adjustable depth control. You can actually make the dive deeper or shallower. So when they approached me, I was really cool baits. So I was looking for. I've been in love with them ever since. They're great. And Wolfpack Fishing, that's kind of how we met too. I love them for the fishing apparel. I'm rocking the Camel Wolf tonight.
Yeah, I have that same shirt in the chocolate brown or whatever. I need to get it black.
That's my favorite one.
They also run my my logo for me, so I appreciate them doing that.
Yeah, I actually saw that on their website. Looks good.
Thank you. Love me some Wolfpack. Thanks. Appreciate it. WPKM if you want anything. Wolfpackpf.com. Shameless plug.
Hey, if they're going to order anyway, they might as well save 10%, right?
That's right. At least we see it. Okay. Well, Spencer, anything that you want to talk about? Species or questions or?
I don't know. What's the next season you guys got coming up? What are you going to be targeting in the next couple months?
Well, we have the trout opener. Where I live, we have two different openers. So we have the southeast region, and that's the region I live in. They open 2 weeks earlier. And the trout opener here is March 31st. And then up north, it's second week of April, the second Saturday in April.
Okay.
We have before that, we have the week before the opener in select stocked areas. We have the Mentor Youth Program. There are programs up here that are trying to get kids into fishing again, making fishing cool. And if you're under 16, you can fish because it's Mentor Youth. So 16, you have to have a license here. Excuse me.
Yeah, same up here, actually.
Yeah, so youth under 16 can fish with a adult mentor per mentor youth. The adults, it's catch and release only, and the minors can harvest 2 on mentor youth day. After opening day, it's 5. It's 5 per day here that you can harvest.
Okay.
In the area, like I do streams and rivers or stuff where there's some oxygen and some cooler water, I'll do catch and release. The canals and stuff, they stop because that water's going to warm up and the trout aren't going to be very healthy in there. They ask that you do take them. They're put and take, So.
Right. What kind of trout do you fish for? Is it rainbow trout, brown trout? What do you got down there?
Pennsylvania is actually known for its trout fishing. The brook trout is our state fish. So we have brook trout, we have rainbow trout, brown trout, and that's the 3 trout that they stock. They also stock these. My fishing buddy calls them a lottery ticket for the taxidermist. They are here. They are golden rainbows. They're gold trout.
Oh yeah.
So they're the golden trout, and they're commonly referred to here as palominos. They aren't. They are a genetic descendant of the palomino. The palomino was the original strand that was modified in West Virginia. And when Pennsylvania first introduced them, they were the palomino strand out of West Virginia that they introduced into the waterways here. And then a couple of genetic scientists here figured out a way to make them brighter and more gold color and give them like a two-tone almost. They have a kind of like a white broad line down them that's narrow. And here that strand is called the golden rainbow. Very pretty fish, and evidently they don't taste any different than the regular rainbow trout or whatever. But he is right. If I ever caught a decent one, it would. It's so pretty. It's going on the wall. So
yeah, it'd be a beautiful mount. They are a good-looking fish.
Yeah, he's got a mount of his out of the Monocacy Creek here that he's got on his wall. All right. That guy, golden or palomino? Yep, they're called golden or palomino. Technically, the ones in Pennsylvania are golden rainbow, most commonly referred to as a palomino, but the palomino strand is all but fished out here. Now it's the Pennsylvania genetic modified ones, and those are golden rainbow. Pimpier fish. I like that. I'm going to call it that from now on, pimpier fish. Yeah. So we have that, and then I also, hopefully, if I keep saying it out loud, it isn't going to happen, but I have the collaboration hopefully coming with that panfish. He lives in Knoxville, and that's where the Classic's at. I'm going to try to beat the Classic, meet some YouTubers there, try to do some fishing in my hometown with some friends I went to high school with, things like that. And Tennessee, they don't have the bass regulations that, excuse me, Pennsylvania does. You can fish for bass on bed in Tennessee. Bass Tamer Glopro makes some awesome stuff. All right. Well, let's talk about Glopro for a minute here, Spencer. What is your favorite thing right now what's your confidence from Glopro right now?
Right now I'm limited because it's wintertime. We've been throwing the Glopro micro dancers through the ice, catching some nice jumbo perch on those. So those have been doing well. So far, my favorite product they have is the hybrid frog. It's a topwater frog. It's got a hard body inside and a soft plastic exterior that you can actually swap out for a different style body. And those things are deadly. I've got a video up, actually. If you guys want to check them out, go to my channel, Largemouth Bass with the Glopro Hybrid Frog. You can see it in action, and that video was filmed the very first day I had one. It was my first time using it, and I was in the water for maybe 2 minutes before we had probably a 2 or 3 pound bass on. They smash those things. They're absolutely phenomenal.
Well, let me ask you, because you said you use only spinning rod, what kind of action do you get frog fishing the spinning rod? Because a cranking rod, it pulls it lateral when you walk it yourself. Does the spinning rod change the action?
A little bit, yeah. You got to give it a little more action yourself. Fine, depending on the style. I've used like the live target style before, where it's a soft body, and then the Glopro one where it's more of a hard body with a cupped lip. And either way, you can make them work. I got to do a little bit of the walk the dog, where you jig it up or down as you're reeling it in, and you can actually get a pretty good action with those, even with a spinning rod. I do really well with topwater for bass up here with those.
All right, Monster. Before we wrap up tonight, Fishing Family Network is in here. These guys really campaigned for me to break that 1K, and I did. And Monster promised he would come in with some goodies for somebody in the podcast tonight. So, Fishing Family Network, if you're ready, we will ask a question and get someone a package of goodies sent from Monster Hunter of Fishing Family Network that came by for the podcast tonight. So let me think of the question real quick here. All right. Earlier in the stream, Spencer said that his estimated weight for his personal best was what on a smallmouth? What number in pounds?
I'll see if anyone caught that.
Yeah. 6.6, 6.5. A little higher. Give you a hint. 47.9. Come on. you catch a 47 point.
Oh, I wish I was that good.
Yeah. And everybody else, he speaks km. No, he said in pounds. He said in pounds. You didn't say kilometers, right? You said in pounds.
I did say pounds, yeah. I mean, technically up here we use kilograms, but when it comes to fish and stuff, inches, pounds for the everything, yeah. It's just kind of standard when it comes to fishing.
Oh, we have a winner.
We got
9, 14, 7, up, 9. It looks like Fishing Stripes. Fishing Stripes guessed it 8 pounds. That is a tank of smallmouth, man. 8 pounds for Fishing Stripes was his best guess on it. He said he believed it to be 8 pounds. All right, Monster. There you go. I've got your winner. You've got the goodies. Fishing Stripes, please reach out to Monster Hunter or Fish. Excuse me. Coffee doesn't want to stay down tonight. Please reach out to Monster Hunter or Fishing Family Network. You know them both, I'm sure. And Monster will get that package out to Fishing Stripes. Heck yeah. All right. So we have a winner for that.
Congrats.
Thank you, Monster. Appreciate it. Everybody thank Cousin Sonny. That is one of the ways I've been able to grow both networks is I landed in that Twitter network. And we have a good Twitter network going for us. At Fishing Stripes, man, you are a pro contest winner. Fishing Family Network thanks, Kelly. You're welcome, buddy. Hey, thank you. I appreciate it. Appreciate all the campaigning you guys did, too. Lizard will make it in here tonight. He will watch the stream later. Hey, Sonny, why don't you go ahead and tell me in the chat, because I didn't get it from you earlier, who you've got tomorrow night, and we'll see about sending some people over your way tomorrow night. One cast, one fish. What's up at Blue Collar? Not much. What's up with you? Anybody got any questions before we wrap up tonight? Blue Collar, is that a bottomless cup? I just found the bottom, but my wife made me a second cup while I've been on. All right, Spencer, why don't you go ahead and say anything you want to say last, or your goodbyes, or your check me outs, or what you're coming, and
yeah, actually, do you mind if I give a couple shout-outs to a couple partners?
Absolutely. Please.
All right, cool. So first of all, I wanted to let you guys know, Fishing for the Rest of Us, we work with Digital Awakenings Media. It's kind of a company me and my friends started. We're trying to help each other out, grow our channels together. So our sister's channel, it's called Mikey's Lab. If you guys are into DIY or making, check him out. He's got some great videos. He's also my tech guy that set me up tonight. And one other person I want to give a shout out to was, if you guys look them up on Twitter, is Team Awesomeism. It's a group that tries to help kids with autism to cope with daily things. And we've actually partnered with them to help them with some fishing videos that help some of the kids there. So good cause there if you guys want to check them out on Twitter as well.
Oh, that's awesome. All right, guys, be sure you go and check those out if you want to. I'm sure Spencer would appreciate it. We have questions in the chat. Fat Guy Outdoors, when we hook it up. Chris, you're talking to me sometime soon, buddy. I've got Knoxville coming up, and then I've got opening day coming up, and then the youth program coming up. So April, I think we move up. And if you're talking to Spencer, are you going to do the drop hook tournament? That's in Ontario. What lake is that? You know what I'm talking about, Spencer? The lake in Ontario, the drop hook tournament's on?
Oh, I can't remember which lake it is. It's somewhere. It's not that far from me either. It's out in the Kawarthas. I can't remember which lake it's on now. But it's not far. It's in southeastern Ontario, I believe, out in the Kawartha area somewhere. It's only like 2 hours from my place.
That guy outdoors says Pigeon Lake.
Pigeon, that's the one. Yes. Yeah, that's not too far from me. It's about 2.5 hours. So yeah, I might drop by and check that out.
Edward Siller wants to know, what is the craziest thing you ever caught while fishing?
The craziest thing we've ever caught while fishing. Well, I mean, we've all hooked into a few snapping turtles here and there. They're a pain in the butt, but we've all been there. Actually, today was really funny on Lake Simcoe. I got my bait down at the bottom, felt heavy, and I pulled it up, and there was a whole cluster about this big of zebra mussels, and one of them had actually closed around my hook when I reeled it up. So that had never happened before. That was weird today.
I actually caught a Daiwa spinning rod while fishing one time. I caught the rod and reel. It had been pulled into the lake. Oh, wow. And I caught the rod and reel. And then when I picked up the rod and reel, I was like, okay, I'll take it home, roll it up, see if I can get it to work, you know. The rod will be good anyway. When I picked up the rod and reel and I started to reel the line that was in, there was a fish on that rod and reel.
No way.
It wasn't massive or anything. It was like a little channel cat.
That's unreal. Free rod and reel and a fish for bonus points. What more do you want, right?
I guess somebody had laid it, the rock I was fishing, I guess somebody had laid it down and the fish had bit and they weren't paying attention. And it
yanked it right in. Yeah.
It is pretty cool. I've done that. They're everywhere here. I guess he's talking about the little zebra mussels.
Yeah, they're a big problem. They're spreading like wildfire.
That's a question I have for you. Do you have any invasive species up here like we have in the States that are taking over?
Yes, we do. The zebra mussels are a huge problem. Most of the Great Lakes, in the U.S. and Canada, they're just full of them. They've spread into all the lakes and river systems up here as well. We've also got a problem with round gobies. Those are a big problem. They've now become a lot of other fish, smallmouth bass and stuff. And the Asian carp a couple of them have made their way across the border. They pushed through. They had electric fences set up in the Great Lakes to keep them out of here. And they found a few of them that have actually pushed through. So unfortunately, they're getting in. Everybody's got to be vigilant. Keep your eye out. Report invasive species. Do not release them in the water. Contact your conservation authority and let them know.
Yeah, we have the Asian carp problem here, and well, not here, not in Pennsylvania. They're not in Pennsylvania yet, but Tennessee is ripe with them. Kentucky's bad, and they're a problem.
Yeah,
and if you're finding
that have them, they've even started dying off themselves because they've depleted their own food sources, and now like even the Asian carp are dying off because they've already killed all the native species in some waterways. Like it's just terrible.
Yeah, there are to deal with the problem here. Blue catfish aren't native to here. A lot of people don't know that, but blue catfish aren't native to North America. They were released here, and they're one of the few fish that get big enough to feed on some of the Asian carp, and that may be one of the reasons they started releasing here. And there is talks now of reintroducing the alligator gar to see if that can help reduce the Asian carp population. But you just wonder if you're going to end up with two problems, you know? Because, yeah, the alligator gar, you want them to eat the Asian carp, but you can't tell a gar to eat only the Asian carp. You know what I mean? They're going to wreak havoc on all fish species population.
Yeah, they're not going to pick and choose, right? They're going to eat whatever they can eat.
They're opportunistic. The little rancher, same here in Houston, fly fishing is making them popular. Fly fishing. You can catch Asian carp on a fly. They're plankton strainers. I mean, I guess you can. What's that do? Maybe. Rock snot question mark. What is rock snot? Is that an invasive species?
What kind of fish was it?
He said something rock snot question mark. I don't know what that is.
We've got rock bass up here. I don't know if that's what he's like thinking about, but
all right. What is a rock bass to you? Because a rock bass here is different than a rock bass in Tennessee.
A rock bass is very similar to the size of a sunfish, like a bluegill kind of body style, more round, but they're kind of brown and they've got like almost a striped color pattern like a smallmouth bass and red eyes.
Yep. In Tennessee, growing up in the American South, the most popular name for them is red eyes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They're like a red-eyed sunfish, and the like they're called rock bass in the northern hemisphere here by a lot of people. That even down south they're starting to call them rock bass too. But growing up, the old guys, the rock bass was what we call a striper, a striped bass.
Oh, okay.
So.
Yeah, the rock bass up here, they're not an invasive species, but they're not a native species either. So it's not a kill on sight like a goby or a zebra mussel, but there's no limit on them. There's no season on them. We'll take as many rock bass as we can up here.
Down here, they're part of the multi-species limit panfish, so 25 or whatever it is now. 25 multi-species that encompasses yellow perch, crappie, bluegill, rock bass, or red eyes, whatever you know. My guy outdoor says gobies are smally candy. There is a goby big problem in Erie, Edward Seller. Do you have a goby problem? Oh yeah. Yeah.
Lake Erie, I know, is just riddled with them. But like you said, the smallmouth are eating them up left, right, and center. They're actually designing baits now. I don't know if you've seen some of them, like Berkeley Glopro Lures. They've got little ones that look like gobies now, specifically to target the bass. Yeah.
Me and Berkeley Glopro Lures are buddies. That is my confidence. When I can't get anything else to bite, where's my gulps?
It's the go-to. Yeah.
It is.
I don't mind them. I do love those baits, but they are really expensive up here. I don't know about down there.
Well, all baits are really expensive, really, especially soft plastics.
Like a tub of the Glopro Lures up here, like the leeches or whatever, a tub that big, it's like $23 up here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not that expensive.
Yeah, it's crazy.
They're high. They're probably in the teens. Rock bass and roanoke bass, close relatives. Out and about outdoors with rhyming friends. Hey, buddy. Welcome. Glad you came by. Do you use large swim baits? Little Rancher wants to know.
Large swim baits?
Yep.
Every once in a while, not very often. A lot of the spots that I'm fishing for bass are really heavy weed cover, and the stuff gets snagged up, so I prefer something that I can get through there a little better, a weedless jig or topwater or something. But we do like to throw those when we're going for big pike or muskie, especially in the fall. On the fall run, we'll throw some big baits for them when they're trying to bulk up for the wintertime.
Yeah, I don't throw them either, but it's because, like I said, the blue collar name wasn't by accident. I can't justify a $150 lure, and it gets hung up. I'm gonna cry for a week. I don't have a boat either, so I'd have to pull it through the bank and the weeds and the branches.
Yeah, you lose something that good, dude, you're going swimming to get it. That's for sure.
Another seller asks, what type of rod and what pound test are you using?
Hey.
Well, we touched on this a little before. If you missed it, I generally run with two different rods. I've got a medium light action with a fast tip. That's more for Senko worms or smaller things, panfish, that kind of stuff. And then I've got a graphite heavy action that I use for the big top waters or big crankbaits, stuff like that. Both of them I run a 15-pound braid on. I find that it's really castable and really durable. It's great line. And then sometimes I'll run a monofilament leader if I'm going for trout or panfish or something finicky like that.
Do you have on your rods, do you have a preference in brand, or you just go by feel? Or
I don't really have a preference in brand. I mean, obviously, fishing for the rest of us blue collar, I stay away from the really expensive stuff. A lot of companies have lower end and higher end stuff, though, so I usually go somewhere in the middle. I'm not looking to spend hundreds of dollars on a rod. Most of my rods are worth about, like when I buy them, about $50, and I'll pair it with a nice reel. So I don't really have a preference in brand. It's more the feel. I always have to shop for them myself, test them out in the store, feel, how sensitive it is, and jig it around a little bit and get a feel for it that way.
Yeah, I had I get some funny looks in the store sometimes because I take it and I don't get why people do this. Like, what does that tell you? Just I take it and I slant and put it on the floor and see where it bends and breaks. Everybody's like, "What are you doing to that rod?" Making sure it works.
Yeah. Then you get your buddy to go to the other side and give it a little tap, see if you can feel it in the handle, right?
Smack it on the shelf. Things like cod lures, 150 millimeters long. Wow. I have to do the conversion here to millimeters. I'm in the States. We don't use the metric system. Yellowtail off of Catalina Island. Fat Guy Outdoors, Kelly, I DM'd up info on Rockslot on Twitter. I will check that out after the stream, Chris. Thanks, buddy. Cry a weak heck rest of my life. Yeah, those swim baits can get pricey. Especially that, what's his, Mike Buka, the Buka shad. Ooh. So, an incredible looking bait, man, but I can't spend more for a lure than I spent for the rod.
That seems like a fair rule.
Yeah. It's the same. You say you don't have a boat. What do you think the popularity of kayak fishing now has done? Has it helped the sport?
Yeah, actually, you know what? It's been a growing thing, and I think it's kind of because of the same reasons we started our channel, right? Not everybody has room or money or time to maintain a big boat and outboard engines and all that. So, I mean, a kayak's a nice kind of middle ground where you're not stuck bank fishing, but you're not spending, 10, 20 grand on a boat or something. You can get out for a few $100. They're a little easier to maintain. You don't have to worry about the gas and all that stuff. So I think it's a nice middle ground for someone who's looking to get out on the water, off the banks, but doesn't want to spend, the crazy bucks on a big boat.
Yeah. I'm looking now. Had some, you ever want to make God laugh telling your plans. Had some events come up last year. I was going to get into one, but this year, knock on that real hard. This year, I'm hoping to remedy that. Those same events don't happen again. The guy in the chat here tonight, Chris, Fat Guy Outdoors, he's a kayak angler. He's going to try to get me out in some kayak places around here. We live within a couple of hours of each other, at least in the
Oh, it's not bad. Yeah, I know Chris from Twitter, man. How's it going, Chris?
Yeah. He fishes in that drop hook tournament. He was there last year at Pigeon Lake. How far is Pigeon Lake from you?
For me, I think it's about 2.5 hours, I'd say. So not far.
Yeah, it's not bad. Day's drive.
And I drove 2 hours just to go ice fishing today, so that's nothing for me.
Maybe you can meet up with those guys when they go there. He said, without a doubt, kayaks are great to get there. Yeah, it'll get you off the bank. I do say, I'm a bank angler and you're a bank angler. And when people ask me, best advice for bank angling, I tell them, look for clearing, look for point, look for structure, all this other stuff that you do. I said, and honestly, the number one advice I can give you is get off the bank. If you can afford to get off the bank, get off the bank. A kayak is going to open up more opportunities for you in bank fishing. A boat is going to open up more opportunities for you in bank fishing. There's nothing wrong with bank fishing. If that's what you can afford to do, then try to be the best bank angler you can be. But if you're in the market for a kayak, that is going to improve your game. So
there is some really tough days just fishing from the bank. You're limited to where you can get, and if you can't get to the fish, nothing's happening, right? So there's some tough days out there, but work through it. And my biggest tip for bank anglers is don't be afraid to go through the bush to get to a good spot.
Yeah, that too. I take a shower when I get home due to poison. So.
We've got a couple of spots. That pond where I filmed the Glopro episode with the hybrid frog for the bass. That is a rough walk in. We got to cut through a forest. There's no pathways anywhere. Then we actually have to jump into a river about waist deep, wade across the river, then through more forest to get to that spot. But it's a great spot. So, I mean, what are you going to do, right? It's worth it.
Yeah. Sea Pro Fishing with Wayne says, my boat is paid for, and the maintenance still costs an arm and a leg. Yeah, you heard the joke, right? Boat is an acronym. It stands for break out another 1,000.
I like that. That's good.
One cast, one fish. Love my kayak for getting into tight places and the local creeks and streams. Yeah, they are good for that. And like I said, I am a bank angler, and I am working toward that kayak to at least get me off the bank, because I notice a huge improvement when I'm fishing with my buddies because they have a boat in my fishing game. It's just, I mean, we may not like to say it as bank anglers and as the blue collar guy and fishing for the guys without a boat, but if a boat is in your wheelhouse, or at least a kayak or something that gets you off of the bank, it's going to improve your fishing. It just is. Snakes I have to watch for. Yeah, I have to watch for those around here too. In Australia, kayak fishing, y'all got some gnarly snakes there, right? Like, isn't everything in Australia designed to kill you?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure everything there is poisonous.
Yeah. One cast, one fish. I fish from my boat and kayak a lot, but I have caught some great fish from the bank. I've caught most of my fish from the bank because that's where I'm stuck to right now. But I think a kayak, you got to look at it like a tool. It's one more tool in your toolbox. Sometimes it's the tool you need to do the job. Like, I've caught fish with a hand line. That don't mean a rod and reel's not better.
Yeah, absolutely. It's doable without, but do you really want to?
Yeah, exactly. Not near as much fun. All right. Well, Spencer, I believe I'm about out of questions here. You have anything else you want to cover? I don't see any more questions coming up in the chat here right now.
No, just want to take a sec, say thanks for everybody who tuned in. Appreciate you guys watching, and thank you, Kelly, for having me on the show. It's really great. Watch your channel often, so it's really cool to be here. And if anybody hasn't, please check out my channel, Fishing for the Rest of Us. We got some great tip videos, and I think you guys will love them.
Yeah. And after the stream tonight, when I sign off, I'll put all of Spencer's and Fishing for the Rest of Us information in the description box below. Make sure you go over and check him out. And, subscribe to his channel. Hopefully we can build his numbers a little bit too tonight. Subscribe to his channel. Watch a video. YouTube is moving the goalposts on us again, as a lot of y'all know that do this. It takes time and effort and work put into this. So if you do go check out Spencer, watch a video. That's why we make them, for people to watch. He does have good content. I've watched several of his videos. Hit his subscribe button and ring his notification bell if you want to stay updated on anything that he's going to do in the future. If you're new to our channel, be sure and do the same. Hit our subscribe button, watch our videos, and hit our notification bells. We will have some things going on, hopefully. Knock on wood. I said it out loud, so you got to make sure it happens. We'll have some things going on. Coming up within the next 2 weeks, we will be hopefully at the Bassmaster Classic in Knoxville, Tennessee. We will be collaborating, hopefully, with Panfish Bill. That is the plan right now. We'll see what he's got going on. I'm going to try to do some fishing with some high school buddies that I went to high school with down there. If their schedules can arrange. One of my friends just joined he is a city police officer, and he just joined the state. I call him the Forest Fuzz. So he just joined the park rangers down there in that department. Yeah, they're the Forest Fuzz now. Fat Guy Outdoors, who's on next week? Next week, we have Gumpa's Honey Hole and Gumpa's Custom Rods. He'll be on talking about custom rods and fishing and any questions you might want to ask him. So everybody come in next week to ask him anything you want to ask Gumpa. If I missed any of your questions tonight that you wanted to ask Spencer, you can go leave a comment in his channel on one of his videos, and I'm sure he'll get back with you. You can also check him out on Twitter at Fishing for the Rest of Us. I'll leave the link to that in the description box below as well. Tomorrow night, hey, Sonny, FFN, go ahead and throw me tomorrow night's guest in the chat real quick before we sign off, and I'll promote tomorrow night. I lost it. Low budget bass, and dang, I missed it. We'll be here for a couple of minutes, low budget bass. If you have any questions you want to ask anybody, go ahead and ask them. We'll get them out of the way. Little Rancher, sweet. Gumpa is the man. Yeah, Gumpa's a nice guy. Be sure and tune in next week for us. Also, tomorrow night, head over to Fishing Family Network, where they will be hosting Michael Johns for your Monday night entertainment. The Fishing Family Network is Lizard King Fishing and Monster Hunter. They do a weekly stream now for all of us to network on Monday nights. Excuse me. I do apologize. I don't know why that's going on tonight. So on Monday nights on the Fishing Family Network, they'll have Michael Johns on. That is 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here. So head on over there. I'll try to swing in tomorrow if I can make it. I don't think I've got anything going on tomorrow night. Ask about the LKM Cup. Yeah, Little Rancher, tomorrow night you can ask Lizard and Mustard themselves about the LKM Cup. And I'll try to go in there and ask them as well. I'll also ask if they've already got it made, so, you know, measure out the mantle, because once it gets here, it won't be leaving. Like I said, all the descriptions to Spencer and all his information will be in the description box below. Are there any more questions before we sign off for the night that anybody wants to ask? Anything anybody wants to say in the chat? If you would like to network yourself a little bit in the chat tonight, this is your opportunity to do so. Please do not use the word subscriber, sub for sub to me, support me, etc. That might be, that's probably a tall tale. I don't know if it does break YouTube's guidelines, but I just find it rude. You came to my channel to watch my video. I'll go to your channel to watch your video. But I do realize the need to network tonight, so if you are trying to build your numbers and you're networking a little bit in here, that's fine. I do encourage that you check all the channels that came in tonight out. I like people to get rewarded for coming to my stream. So if you don't have any of the channels that are in the chat box tonight, go check them out. Watch their videos, leave a comment, and then click the like bell or the notification bell if you want to stay notified. Little Rancher says spider wire. I guess he's asking, do you use spider wire?
Yes, that's the braid that I usually use. Is the spider wire camo braid is the one I like.
Yeah, it's a little bit rougher than some of the newer braid, like the Power Pros that have come out. But I still use spider wire too, because it's not even half the price.
Yeah, bang for your buck. It's one of the best ones out there. So
yeah, definitely. Bang for your buck right now. Let's talk about, before we sign out, rod and reel combo. What's your bang for your buck rod and reel combo?
That's a tough one. Like I said, I'm not really brand specific, so I can't really comment. I kind of on an on-need basis. Anytime I need one, I'll go to my local tackle shop and I'll browse around. I mean, in the past, I've had Daiwas, I've had Rapalas, I've had all kinds of like Berkeley, Fenwicks. It really depends on what they got. And I'm kind of a sale hunter too. I'll go out and I'll try to get that fancy rod that's like an $80 rod on sale for $40 on, you know, Boxing Week, which is like Black Friday up here in Canada or something like that. So honestly, I don't really have a specific brand that's the best bang for your buck. Best advice is shop around and get one that's good for you, and you know, test it out a little first. Don't just rush into one. Get one that's going to work for you at a good price point.
Yeah. Sounds good. All right, I will bring you to Houston. I don't know what that is, but cool. Bang for your buck braid. You need to check out Cast King's braid. Okay.
Cast King? All right.
I didn't know Cast King made braid. So I learned something new tonight. Most are made in the same factories anyway. Yeah. All right. Well, it's 9:29. We're going to wrap up for the night. I want to thank everybody for coming in tonight. I really appreciate it. I want to thank everybody for being active in the chat tonight. If you asked a question and I didn't get to you, I will go ahead and apologize. Sometimes, by the time Spencer's done asking one question and I remember what it was, it's gone by and I can't find it anymore. So, night, folks. Had a great time. Thank you, Sonny. Appreciate you coming. Fishing Family Network. Like I said, be sure to go check them out tomorrow night. We kind of work off each other here. Me and Sonny and Lizard. You can go in and Awesome Show Kelly be back next week for sure. Thank you very much, everyone. So you come here on Sunday nights, and then Monday nights you roll right into the Fishing Family Network. And over there you can network, you can talk to guests, you can ask questions, and you can they give away a ton of stuff. So you can win some nice prizes over there as well. They do a lot of giveaways. And then next Sunday night, we'll see you right back here at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Gumpa's Honey Hole and Gumpa's Custom Rods. He is a custom rod builder. He'll be talking about that. We'll ask him fishing questions and anything that anybody in the chat wants to ask him, like I said before. The following week is the Bassmaster Classic. I will be traveling, so I don't have a guest lined up. Knock on wood, I will be traveling, so I don't have a guest lined up. Now we'll be gathering content, so if the broadband is good enough in the hotel, I might try to go live while I'm on the road, but I can't guarantee that. I grew up in a real rural, small area of Tennessee, so internet connection is not the greatest. So if you don't see me next week, we will be back to edited videos now that spring's around the corner or trout season's coming around the corner. The classic is coming hopefully around the corner. The Panfish Bill collaboration is coming around the corner. And then hopefully the kayak is coming this spring and summer. We're still stacking up those paychecks for that. We'll be doing some fishing with Chris, Fat Guy Outdoors, when that comes around the corner. Kayak or not, Chris will meet up again. Great show. Appreciate it. See you next week. Appreciate it. All the way from Australia. Man, that is awesome. Go live and show us what you eat away from home. Well, I wouldn't really be away from home. Tennessee is my home. I've lived there for 25 years. I'll show you how chocolate gravy. If you're not in Tennessee, that is probably weird to you. I love it. My wife. Yeah, in Middle Tennessee, there is it's a breakfast dish, and it is, my wife describes it as hot chocolate pudding. And I guess that's kind of the thing, the scenario, but it's they call it chocolate gravy, and you put butter in it, and then you eat it with biscuits. I find it delicious. My wife is a little turned off on it. One of my sons loves it like I do, and the other one not so much.
That sounds pretty good. I could get into that.
Oh, you said road trip. Well, yeah, it would be a road trip. I live in Pennsylvania now, so I think I'm staying the night in Virginia. Hopefully, I'm a little bit too old to do 12-hour driving a day. That hurts. That hurts now. So I might drive, 7 or 8 hours, spend the night in Virginia, and finish up 5 or 6 in the morning. What part of Tennessee? Anywhere near Paris Landing, which is Kentucky Lake. I have been to Paris Landing a couple of times, and I've been to Kentucky Lake. Watts Bar I've been to several times. I grew up on Watts Bar. My brother is the lock operator on Watts Bar for the Army Corps of Engineers, actually. So my father-in-law ate chocolate sandwiches. Don't know what that is, but sounds cool. Like outdoors, raccoons, squirrels, possums. I have. It's no longer in my diet. Edward Son spent 11 years there. I spent 25 years of my life on the Cumberland Plateau, Edward. That's where I'm from, the Cumberland Plateau area of Tennessee. Born and raised. And then I moved to North Carolina and Minnesota, Pennsylvania. Spent time in a couple of bread, butter, and powdered chocolate milk beds. Okay. That's different. Actually, that's not too far off from chocolate gravy, honestly. But, okay, Tick Country, USA. Yeah, the Cumberland Plateau. It can be, definitely. But Della Hollow's great. Y'all have never fished Della Hollow. Smallmouth bass are your thing. That needs to be on your bucket list. All right, well, we are going to wrap up tonight. Spencer, you've already said your goodbyes. Do you have anything else you want to add before we wrap it up?
Oh, I think we're good, man. Just thanks again for having me. It was great being on here. It was great chatting with everybody. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Yep. All right, that wraps it up for tonight. I want to thank Spencer Fishing for the rest of us for coming. I want to thank all 20 of you watching right now. 20, my numbers build week to week, and that is great. Edward says, great show, Spencer. Yeah, it was. You were a good guest. I do apologize, Spencer, for the hem-hawing. I usually script these out where we can kind of go doom. And it was scripted out tonight, but it was scripted out for Spencer and Owen couldn't make it tonight. So I had to thumb through some of the questions that weren't for Spencer.
That's okay. We still made it good.
Oh, yeah, I think so. Thank everybody for watching tonight. We'll do the call to action one more time. If you're new here, first time here, be sure to hit that subscribe button. If you could do us a favor and share these streams and everything, share our shows and share our channel. We are still trying to grow. We did get to the 1K subscribers. Now we need the 4K watch time. But, any subscriber that comes our way, we totally appreciate still, 1K. Don't think because I'm, at 1K, I no longer need your help. Everybody needs everybody's help. Wolfpack. Yes, Wolfpack. You saw Spencer with his Wolfpack shirt on tonight. I have the camo wolf as well as the blue collar fishing. If you want any of those items, you can go to wolfpackpf.com. Chris, type that in the chat for me, please. wolfpackpf.com. And you can enter code WPKM to save 10%. Or you can also enter Spencer's code if you want to help out Spencer tonight. Go ahead, Spencer. You can say your code.
Promo code WPSF.
There we go. Got their hoodie, phenomenal. Yep, they make some nice stuff. Sports Tech, I think, is the manufacturer of most of their shirts. And you can get one with this lovely logo on it. You can also get this coffee cup over there if you're interested with WPKM. And as always, guys, until next time, tight lines. Thanks for watching. Good night.